So we're wrapping up this series this morning. We thought it'd be good to end with something that's, I think, on all of our minds. We want to talk about Islam. All right? Yes, amen. It's an important topic. Let me start with this. Some of you know that 3 weeks ago, and quite at the spur of the moment, decided to join up with World Vision, who they have people run marathons to raise money for clean water in Africa. It's the number one need in Africa. A really important thing. And I just, on the spur of the moment, decided I need to come out of retirement. I haven't run a marathon since 2004 and 25 pounds ago. So I thought, this is the time to do it. I set a crazy goal of $50,000. And feel free to support me if you want, because I got 49 to go. But we have till October, so there's no rush. But so here's the thing. Having made that decision, the next day I hit the gym. I'm a member at LA Fitness, have been for a number of years, but haven't attended for a number of years. So I actually spend more like just, I'm on again, off again, but it's been like 6 months or so since I visited the gym. So I decided to go and start getting in shape, because it really helps to be in shape when you do a marathon. I don't know if you know that or not. So I thought I'd start some conditioning. Now, you go to the gym, and those of you who go to gyms probably have noticed this. Some of the younger folks, not all, and sadly, some of the older folks, they're there to get healthy, yes, but they have other motives as well, and they're kind of checking out the place, checking out the people, looking for relationships or who knows what. And so these folks, you can kind of tell them, because they're usually dressed for the part. They put on display their ripped arms, their biceps. They want to show their tight little glutes and their nice hamstrings or whatever, I don't know, their abs. And they have the outfit for it. They have name brand stuff. They wear fluorescent headbands sometimes with fluorescent laces and cool tennis shoes. And they're putting it on display. And yeah, I'm not judging that. You know, that's part of a mating ritual that all cultures have, and it's in the animal kingdom. You know, the peacock fluffing its feathers. You know, it's just like, check this out, girl. You want a piece of this? So, you know, it's just part of the. Do you notice me as I have my glutes? The glute girl. So, anyways, here's the thing. I also noticed that there's a number of Muslim ladies working out in this club. And they stand out too, but for very different reasons. They're not interested in people noticing their nice abs at all. In fact, they're dressed out in the traditional Islamic wear. They have these long skirts, and they wear this head covering called a hijab. And they're lifting weights with this, and they're running on treadmills with this, and doing a stair climber with all this garb on. So we're entitling this message, Hijabs at the Gym. There you go. And see, here's the thing. I really respect that. I mean, for one thing, that's not the most convenient clothes in the world to work out in. I mean, when I run on a treadmill for half hour, I am drenched and I am soaked. Every square inch of my body is soaked. I can imagine what it would be like to run on a treadmill with all that covering. I'd be sweating that covering in the middle of winter, even without running. It's just like, I mean, that takes. And they know that there will be some people who will be looking at that saying, that is really weird, and they're going to be judged. But see, these folks don't care, because they're living out their faith. This is part of what their faith calls them to. This is their convictions about modesty and covering themselves. And they're willing to do it even though it's not the norm for the culture. They're being countercultural. And that's certainly a kingdom lesson that we need to learn. Always be reminded of that, because you can't live out the kingdom and not be countercultural. You can't live out the kingdom and not bump up against fundamental aspects of the culture. Not necessarily in how we dress, though it has some implications for that, but in terms of how we live and how we give and how we love. And so I really respect this. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed, whether it's in a gym or at the marketplace or at the workplace or whatever, but there's an increasing number of Muslims here in the Twin Cities. Actually, the population has exploded over the last 15 years. Shelley and I and 3 other couples moved down into the city of St. Paul about 11 years ago. And we did that. One of the reasons was because we just love the diversity of an urban environment. But it seems like 11 years ago, the diversity was primarily white, black, Asian, Latino. But now you go to the Target or the Walgreens or really anywhere, and Muslims are have at least as great a portion of the diversity that is there. It's just a growing thing. In fact, in the Twin Cities, did a little research on this. In 1995, there's roughly 20,000 Muslims in the Twin Cities in the metro area, and there were 4 mosques that served that population. Now, as of 2011 anyways, that's the last year I could get statistics for, they had over 150,000 Muslims in the Twin Cities and the metro area, and there's 18 mosques or worship centers that serve them. Incredible growth. And that's somewhat exceptional, this rapid growth here in the Twin Cities, and it's happened for a number of reasons. But actually, you're finding this all over the place. In fact, in the United States, Islam is the fastest growing religion, as it is in Europe. It's just really exploding. So this is why I think this is a really important topic for us. That trend is not going to reverse. It's good for us to know some of what Muslims believe. And to be able to interact in intelligent, kind, and generous, and respectful ways with them. But here's the thing. I initially had planned on doing a little lesson on the history of Islam and giving some of the beliefs of Islam and how we can interact with that. I've debated Muslims in the past, so I have a little, repertoire of, I think, very compelling arguments that can show that some of their beliefs are mistaken and things like that. And I was going to give that. As I was putting this message together, however, in light of some recent events, I really felt led to go in a different direction.